What's going on, guys? My name is Max, and today we are back for some more BTS. So if you're new here, my name is Max. I'm a communication skills coach, and I help people with things like their presentation, conversation, and interview skills. So that's what I do on this channel. I react to different people's conversations, interviews, presentations, and I give you my thoughts. So I appreciate all the love, I appreciate all the support, and it's really cool to see how engaged everyone is with the BTS content. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be checking out a Run BTS episode 116, based on a lot of your comments and suggestions. All right, let's get started. Suga, Jin, on BTS.
와가! 야! 오랜만이네요.
아 이게 달방 얼마 만이지? 5달 만이라고요? 와 5달 만.
Now, I mentioned this in the last video that I really like Jin and Suga. Like, they were the ones that really surprised me the most in the second time looking at them. Jin really showed a good sense of humor, and Suga also I started to really appreciate his honesty and bluntness, and the fact that he just seems to be his authentic self and doesn't try to fake it for the cameras. Like, if he doesn't like something, he doesn't like something. He's not gonna pretend to be happy or pretend to be engaged. And that's something I can appreciate about him. And Jin just seemed to have sort of this light, sarcastic, playful sense of humor that had me laughing, and that I really appreciated. So a couple of these guys are growing on me the more I watch them.
이걸 왜 준비를 했는지 굉장히 궁금합니다.
궁금하네요.
J-Hope?
나중에 알게 될 거예요.
저희가 오늘 무엇을 하게 되나요?
칠판에 이거 쓰는 거다.
Oh, there's Jimin.
이제 5개월 만에, 5개월 만에 한 거예요. 5개월 만에. 요즘 방탄소년단 달려라 방탄 약간 좀 침체기입니다. 약간 좀. 왜 밤이 안 자요? 약간 좀 내가 몇 개 봤는데 예전만큼 빵빵 터지진 않아요. 그래서 오늘 우리 열심히 해야 됩니다. 오랜만에 왔으니까 뭔가 파이트.
Interesting now to see Suga outside of an interview setting. Like, it's interesting, like he really does seem comfortable with the guys right away. I wasn't sure if he was really part of the dynamic, but here he just seems a lot more relaxed and comfortable and like friends with the guys. They all seem a lot lighter and a lot more loose on the show. This is interesting, this whole setup. I don't think I've ever seen a show like this before. They're getting like direction, it looks like, from a producer who's telling them what kind of activities they're doing, I guess.
뭔가 파이팅은 있어 지금.
오케이 텐션 올려.
지금 촬영 전부터 애들 분위기가 심상치가 않아요.
그래. 왜냐면
모이라는데 안 모여요. 계속 게임. 오늘 애들 과태.
J-Hope's got a ton of energy. I mentioned this before, but he really does have a ton of energy. He seems actually, from his body language and his tone and his energy, to be the most excited to be here. He just seems like a really, I said this before, but happy and excited guy. If someone's mood is, let's say, excited, if you're feeling excited or happy, a lot of the time that mood is contagious. There's something called mirror neurons, where we actually mirror the neurons in other people's brains. So if you're around someone who's kind of feeling down, a lot of the time we mirror those neurons, and it can bring us down. It can bring our energy down. Just like if we're around someone who's happy and excited, that can bring our energy up. And I feel like when you're in the room with J-Hope, he brings your energy up.
아까 그 멘트
했잖아요.
아까 그 멘트 남친이가 있어요.
빨리 넘어가자 한 거지. 우리 단 한 명을 딱 보여주자고요.
그래. 저희 뭐 어떤 식으로 진행하면 돼요? 막 게임이랑 이런 거 있다는 거 설명 들었는데.
Okay, so Suga was the one to say, like, okay, let's get started. So how does this work? A leadership sign right there, taking initiative. Let's go. Let's get this game started. Or maybe he's just anxious or impatient. Then he's like, all right, enough of the small talk, boys. Let's get started. How does this thing work? Either way, interesting to see him taking the initiative there. There's RM. There's our boy.
촬영 분량이 있어야 된다 뭐 이런 말
없어. 야 그날 10분짜리 하나 나가는
저 지금 참고로 저희 끝나고 저희 좋은
Who's that? V?
분량 있어야 된다 그런 말 없죠.
정해진 대로 하느냐 아니면 랜덤 뽑아서 하느냐인데 뭐 어떻게 하실 건가요?
뽑아서 하는 게 재밌지 않을까요 우리?
그죠?
네.
저도 그렇게 생각합니다.
오케이, 알겠습니다. 그럼 뽑아서 하시는 걸로 하고요.
네.
미로학번
So I'm seeing Jimin in and out of the screen here, and I noticed a lot of your comments when I said in my last video that Jimin doesn't seem like the type of guy that would be the center of attention on stage, and a lot of you said that was totally wrong. I was totally off. In fact, he's the opposite. A lot of people were talking about his duality, and I believe that. But in these sort of group interview settings or a setting in a group, he still doesn't come across as having that sort of extroverted energy like a J-Hope right? He seems to be a little more reserved in these group settings. So it will be interesting to see his personality here.
아 맞다. 나랑 박지민.
뭔 벌칙?
지민 씨가 지난 파자마 촬영 당시 벌칙에 걸리셔서
Yeah, man, Jimin seems calm. He seems chilled out. And I guess some people just, you know, when they're on stage, like a different almost persona comes out. But in these types of settings, Jimin really just does seem to be like a cool, chilled out guy. He seems very present and engaged with everything, and he's intently listening, but he's just sort of got a more mellow, relaxed energy.
잘할 거야 빨리.
아 그런 걸 했었어요. 화장한 편이 있었어요?
할 때 입던 옷이랑 비슷한데?
아야 그거 아니지.
감정 고무신.
야 나도 입고 싶다 부럽다.
Who's singing, man? That's good.
이렇게 더
온다 지민이 온다.
너의 모습이 좋아 쓸 수도
Is that Jungkook? Is that Jungkook singing? Man, he's good. If that's him, or is that V? Whoever's singing, impressive. Beautiful.
어울린다.
야 너무 이쁘다.
감정 고무신
얼쑤. 너 씨발 좀 커 보인다 아까처럼.
There you go. You saw a little bit of a performance side from Jimin there. He just came out, did a little dance there.
아 이렇게 해야 되나?
There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, there's the performer in him.
하트 이러면 하트가 7개.
하나 해봐. 다 달라야 돼. 하트가 아닌 다른 걸 하면 안 되는 거잖아.
하나 해봐. 한번 해줘야지. 해보자. 야 오늘 빠른 퇴근을 위해서. 해보자. 예.
하트 하나 둘 셋.
아 이런 걸로 하면.
You know, it's interesting when they're doing these little games here and they're being expressive with their body language. Jimin's actually standing out. He seems to really enjoy getting into a character, and he seems really comfortable and confident on stage, almost like that's him in his element. It's almost like he can express himself more when the attention is on him. So funny enough that I said that last time, it really does seem like he's just got an extra level of confidence and showmanship when he's doing some act of performing, whether it's just sort of walking down like this little fashion show thing here, or doing this sort of expression. Like, he's the guy who I'm sort of gravitating toward. Like, he really puts his whole body into it. And he seems to have a lot of confidence, natural confidence around that. Look at Suga on the couch. He's not getting involved, and I said this before. Suga seems like the type of guy that if he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do something. And that's the beauty of Suga, I think, is that when you get a real expression of happiness or excitement from him, you know it's honest. And I bet he's the type of guy that you know if he likes you or if he doesn't like you. So it probably means a lot more when he does really like you.
달라. 뭐가 달라? 똑같이 그게. 왼발 오른발 다른 건가?
나 손이 앞으로 가 있어. 오케이 여기까지 연습 문제였고. 오케이 달려라가 생각이 안 나네. 아니
요건 피해야지. 이건 피해.
It's cool to see them all together, man. They really genuinely seem like good buddies. It's just nice to see them interacting with each other and being affectionate with each other and touching each other. And they all seem equally almost comfortable with each other. Something I've noticed is RM seems in this situation so far to be the quietest. And although he's technically the leader, he seems to have a different type of leadership style in the sense that he doesn't need to be the center of attention. He sort of like encourages the other people in the group to be themselves and do their own thing. Like he even in the English interviews doesn't need to be the one answering the questions. And here, it's like almost like he sort of blends in with the rest of them. Seems like they're all sort of on an equal level.
요까지만.
오케이.
아, 도전.
좋아 도전.
자,
야 근데 이거 성공해서 도전 안 했으면 지금.
여러분 다 같이 합시다. 하나 둘 셋.
도전.
They all seem to be really interested and engaged in doing these little activities. Like, it's fun. I think that's really cool. Obviously, there's a reason why people love watching them. And maybe that's one of the reasons. They genuinely seem to be having a good time. It doesn't seem forced, you know? They seem like they have a great dynamic and they're genuinely having a good time. Jimin could be like a dancer. Like in another life, like it looks like this guy could be like a ballerina or some sort of professional dancer. Just the way he sort of holds his body. It's like he's got strength, it looks like. He's got some real like natural strength, and he's eloquent. Eloquent? That might not be the word. Elegant. He just looks and carries himself like a performer.
아니 도와달라고 그 우리한테 얘기.
도와줘요, 앙팡맨.
도와줘요. 도와줘요, 앙팡맨.
아니,
와 너 진짜 창의적이다 그지?
지민이 그거.
내가 볼 때 이거는 단합력이 아니라 우기기 대회인 것 같아.
Is Jin the jokester of the group? Like he seems to be the guy who's cracking the most jokes. To me, Jin and J-Hope are the most fun, but in different ways. It's like J-Hope brings a certain type of energy, but Jin brings the humor and the jokes and really keeps things light and funny, and he's playful with the guys. And perhaps his way of showing affection amongst the group is by poking fun at them or cracking jokes. Jin's making fun of you, it probably means he likes you.
내가 뭐야?
그리고 너가 B다.
그러니까.
와, 너가 B다, 내가 B다.
야, 이게 한 사람만 나오는 게.
그치. 내가 B다, 너가 B다. 다 된 거 아니야? 그러면? 지민 뭐 했는데?
성공?
V seems to be like he's the most timid in this episode. He's not as emphatic with his gestures. He seems to be sort of the most timid and almost rigid in a way. Like he's not moving around a lot or getting into the activity as much. Like the little brother, the cute, shy little brother in this episode. That's what it seems like. Yeah, Jimin really coming to life here. Jimin's really coming to life.
아, 지금 연말에 대상 받을 때만 하는 건데.
왜 그러냐면 다음 게임 할 때 우리가 너무 배불러서 터지면 안 돼.
그렇지.
이것도 하나의
분식이로 가겠습니다.
In Korea, your age makes a difference. And for the Korean people watching this, for the people who have visited Korea or have Korean friends, you know that there's almost like a hierarchy. And the way you speak to people and address people in Korea is a lot of the time based on your age, unless, you know, you have a real friendship with them. But even within that friendship, I think there are still customs. Like I know RM, he's technically the leader, but I noticed in the comments some people said he's either the third or fourth oldest. So I wonder if people address him differently. Jungkook, and the reason I thought about that actually is because Jungkook, he made a comment, he said, whatever you guys want. And I wonder if he's sort of deferring to them because of the age thing. He's obviously got a beautiful voice, so maybe that's his way of displaying his confidence and his leadership and his contribution to the group. But in these settings amongst the team, it seems like just from that comment and just from his body language before, it seems like he almost kind of defers to them.
야야야야야야야. 여러분 여기 가게 열렸습니다. 어서 오세요. 어서 오세요. 예, 개업합니다. 예.
Interesting that when RM said that he opened a shop, the first one to run over was Jungkook. And the last point I made was he was sort of the guy who deferred to the leadership in the group. So I wonder if there's any correlation there, or maybe I'm overanalyzing it. RM taking it seriously. Oh, he's good. Oh, never mind.
아, 지금 50손밖에 안 돼? 화난다. 남준이 화난다.
RM's a performer, right? RM's a performer. I'm actually looking forward to checking out his speech at the UN, but he's a performer. He knows the cameras are on him. Like if you're shooting basketballs by yourself, you're probably not saying, I'm upset, come on, RM is mad. You know, you're not talking to yourself like that, but he knows the cameras are on him. He knows when to turn it on. He knows when to sort of be quiet and let his group members shine. He knows when he needs to step it up. And he just seems like a guy who's got it all figured out in that way. An impressive guy that I think we've only really scratched I've only scratched the surface on.
838점. 아, 지금 자세가 글렀다. 그런 자세로는 838점 나올 수 없어.
Jin getting on everyone. I want to see what Jin said there. You don't look right. You can't break the record. See? Jin, he's just, I feel like he's the guy that almost like brings the fun out in everyone the most. Like, they all seem to be fun in their own ways, but Jin especially, like I said before, his way of showing affection is making fun of you. I really like his sense of humor. And it's not over the top. He's not like super loud and demands the attention. He sort of like blends in with the humor and like will throw a joke at you here and throw a joke at you here. But he's always poking fun, and he's always got this sort of like mischievous little smile on his face, and he just seems like a fun guy to be around. And if he makes fun of you, he likes you. It's not a malicious thing. It's not a mean thing.
세게 쳐야 돼. 에? 세게 쳐야 돼.
See? You should hit harder. You should hit harder. That's his way of connecting with the guys, is sort of teasing them. Wow, Jimin's hitting hard there. Ooh. V could sing too, huh?
와, 나 이 노래 진짜 좋아하는데.
I guess they all can.
정말 마지막이라면
There he goes again. There he goes again singing. Jungkook gets a millisecond of a chance to sing. He's gonna sing. He's good. He loves it, man. He loves it. I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. There's just a bunch of guys doing different things, playing basketball, hitting things, singing. It's like a little party amongst the 7 of them. It's just a bunch of guys with high energy who are fun to watch, who all seem like genuine friends. Like, I get the appeal. I think as humans, we like to see people and watch people in their natural element. You know, a lot of people just like people watching on the street. So now this is like people watching 2.0. It's probably at a point where, for the most part, they don't even realize the cameras are on them, and it's just so natural. They're just kind of being themselves. So you're right. A lot of people were saying, like, you're going to see a little bit more of their real personalities in these types of episodes. Suga makes sense, being sort of the more introverted one that I've noticed so far, is the guy who's doing the more introverted activity, doing a puzzle. Suga's doing his own thing, and that seems to be like so Suga from what I know about him. That's like a move that he would do. Like, I'm gonna do my own thing, focus on myself, and be in my own little world. He's gonna do what he wants. Suga does what Suga wants. I'm gonna coin that phrase. Suga does what Suga wants. Let's make some t-shirts. Suga does what Suga wants.
못하는 사람 좀 하면 되잖아.
아이 개그 욕심을 많이 냈네. 야, 너 좀 줄 길어야겠다. 야, 줄 길어야겠다.
우리 안에.
자, 개수를 정하자. 다치지 마.
Suga, he goes, you don't need to make this funny. And to me, he's implying, like, let's get the job done. Let's complete this activity and go home. No time for joking around. Man, I don't know what it is, but Suga, man, he for me, he's like the most amusing. He cracks me up the most. There's something about him, his authenticity. He's just who he is. He's just real, and he says it how it is. And there's something that I think allows our audience to connect with that. Wow. Impressive.
너무 가까워.
천천히.
둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. 오케이.
오케이. 10개.
왜? 형이 마지막으로 할래요?
아니.
하나, 왜 내가? 둘, 셋, 넷, 다, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉. 오케이.
Wow.
열하나, 열둘, 열셋, 열넷, 열다섯.
Wow.
좋아. 자, 됐어. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, 열하나, 열둘, 열셋, 열넷,
See, now I'm getting into it. I'm getting excited. Now I get it. I'm excited. That's cool, man. Like, again, we talked about mood contagion before. Their energy is infectious. You know, it really is. And they all really wanted him to succeed at the end there. They all wanted to win as a team. That was fun, man. That was fun. And I noticed J-Hope was sort of almost the most excited about it. Like, he was so into it. When you looked at his reaction, like, he was the one that was like encouraging, I think it was Jungkook at the end to do as many as he could. And also just impressive that they're able to do that. Like, they all have athletic capabilities, clearly.
야, 이거 진정한 화합 아니냐?
자, 빨리 시간 카운트 해주세요.
중국집 해요. 그러면 물냉면 거기 있지 않아?
물냉면 하자. 물냉면 시원한 거 땡긴다.
중국집 하겠습니다. 네.
물냉면 먹는데요.
삼성 간짜장.
To me, Jimin is showcasing some leadership qualities as well. Just when they were talking about ordering the food there, you know, Jimin sort of seemed to be the one being the most decisive.
약간 복싱하는 사람들 이런 거 많이 하잖아.
잠깐, 농구 한 판 하고 온다.
Yeah, man, Jimin seems like an athlete. I said this before. He reminds me of like a professional dancer, the way he carries himself. Like, he's an athlete, man. He's a strong guy. And then he just messed up, so he disproved my point there.
This love, yeah. Sometimes you know, yeah. Sometimes I don't, yeah. It's time to start. 뭐라고 쓸까?
Look at RM getting into it. RM showcasing his performance skills, getting into it there. I bet they can all turn it on for the camera.
윤경 뭐 농구 했다더니 벽 아니네?
베이실. 오케이, 렛츠 고.
Jimin throwing a little joke, teasing Suga a little there. I like to see that.
Sex and we wanna do my money dance like hey, flexing on the gram like hey, hit the little jump, okay, okay, we tripping and business getting paid out.
All right, now I'm starting to really get their appeal. That was cool to watch and see them in sort of performance mode there. They all showcase some real sort of stage presence, and I was sort of looking around at all of them. They were all sort of grabbing my attention and seemed very confident and expressive on stage. Let's rewind a few seconds there.
Went from $1 now we popping rubber bands. From the sex and we wanna do my money dance like hey, flexing on the gram like hey, hit the little jump, okay, okay, we tripping and business getting paid out.
Yeah, and then you see Jimin kind of there, like really expressive with his gestures, and like, again, another sign of confidence. Not even when we're performing, but as communicators when we're speaking, and we sort of are sure and certain about the way we gesture. That's a sign of confidence. We pay a lot of attention to body language. Now, there's something called the communication formula, where communication is made up of three things: words, tone, and body language. And it's said that body language makes up 55% of communications. The way we interpret and perceive whether we like someone or we trust someone or we connect with someone, a lot of that is through our judgment of their body language. Jungkook can really sing, eh?
가만히 놔두다가 끊임없이 덧나 사랑도 너무나도 겁나 혼자 이게 무서워 저기가 두려워 아무도 모르게 다가오기를 외면했을 때 또다시 혼자가 되는 게 두려워 외면했을 때 꿈에도 그리던 지나간 시간이 다시금 내게로 되돌아오길 바라는 간절한 마음으로 가벼웠을 때 시인을 삼키고 내 손을
See, people are laughing at him. They're laughing at him or laughing with him. I wonder if they take him seriously. Like, I wonder if Jin has a serious side of, I'm sure he does have a serious side, but I wonder how often he presents that serious side. You know, I might have seen it briefly in the last interview that I watched, but for the most part, his default seems to be to joke around, and the guys seem to be really amused by him. Like, almost everything he does almost is to bring out laughter in others. Yeah, J-Hope getting into it, right? Like, J-Hope's like his teammate in the fun here, and he's like getting into it. Like, mic drop, mic drop. J-Hope also, again, he brings out the fun and the energy in a different way. I like the dynamic between Jin and J-Hope, because Jin has this playful teasing type side, and then J-Hope has this sort of like electric energy. So I can see the two of them working really well together, right? They're both bringing smiles to people's faces in a different way. They definitely have their different communication styles, but I like their dynamic together because, you know, J-Hope almost like brings Jin's jokes alive in a sense.
한 번 진짜 아깝다. 와, 진짜. 와, 그러니까 한 번, 와.
내 기록을 넘어서다니.
형 140? 태현이다 바로 간다.
매워?
아니
매워요?
하나도 안 매워.
딱 맛있는데?
진짜 살면서 등지면 안 될 게 뭐가 있을까?
형 카메라.
아이 아마추어네.
우리 부모님.
Interesting that Jungkook was aware of the cameras and he told V, hey, don't have your back to the camera. Like, you know, we got to turn around here. Jungkook aware of what's going on. Someone called V an amateur.
그죠? 친구 그리고 카메라.
그리고 카메라.
아미.
Okay. Run BTS 116. That's the end. Thank you again for everyone who recommended that. That was interesting. The more I started watching that, the more I started appreciating them and understanding the appeal of BTS. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into at first, and I was like in my analytical zone and trying to figure out like the dynamics and this and that, but I sort of got lost in it midway through and started to really appreciate them. But what really stood out to me was how natural they seem with each other, how much they seem to really enjoy each other, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So I want to check out more BTS. Guys, if you want to watch the full uncut version of this video, I've posted it on my Patreon page. The link is below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.